Nctv45. Nctv45 Newcastle, The Train. Everyone's talking about Nctv45. Internet television the way you want it. Your #1 media source serving Newcastle, Lawrence County, and globally. Nctv45. The Cedars restaurant in Newcastle wants you to indulge in the food from their pleasing menu. The Cedars features Mediterranean, pub food, Middle Eastern cuisine, and so much more. They're open every day 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Call the Cedars on the east side at 827 Addis Street, Newcastle. 724-658-9543. That's 724-658-9543.
This program furnished by Sporting Goods, 23 East Washington Street, Newcastle. Call 724-658-2535.
Hi, pizza friends. You can still find delicious Augustine's Pizza at your local supermarket. The folks at Augustine's Pizza hope that their pizza is always your first choice for any and all occasions.
Hello and welcome. Yeah, we're still here.
It's been a minute since I've been on the show, and just glad to be back and get back to talking sports.
A minute, a move, and so much.
So much going on, and with the way life has been, at least for me, how crazy it's been, it'd be nice to just start focusing on sports again.
Okay, let's focus first on college football.
Mm-hmm.
First, hats off to Pitt. 2 touchdowns in 16 seconds.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I don't know if that's ever happened before, and when that happened, considering how frustrating their offense could be at times, that was much needed. And with Israel Abanikanda, and they have a handful of good players, but the foundation, the core, isn't there. Obviously, you lose Kenny Pickett and Jordan Addison going to USC. It's not going to be the same team, but definitely there were higher expectations for Pitt than the 6-4 team that they are now.
Well, I'm going to stand up for Pitt.
Okay.
Don't usually do this, so don't get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at a win against West Virginia,
mm-hmm.
an overtime loss, which I consider as a win against Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have 2 wins, Western Michigan and Rhode Island. So where did the losses come from? You played you played North Carolina.
Here's the deal. I went to the Tennessee game at Heinz Field or Acrisure Stadium, and Pitt was doing work on Tennessee, and then the quarterback goes down, and ever since then, it was just different. Now, he came back, hasn't been really playing to the standard they were hoping he was, but you have a loss to Georgia Tech there. That
Georgia Tech, did you look at the beginning of Georgia Tech's schedule? Clemson, Mississippi, okay, check that out.
Mm-hmm.
They had some tough games before they got to Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is Georgia Tech, okay, you could kind of throw that out. Louisville, I think they should have beat Louisville. North Carolina, down there, North Carolina's tough. then a win against Syracuse in Virginia. I'm looking at the last two games and saying an 8-4 Pitt team is like a number 25 team.
Well, here's the thing. I could see Pitt winning both of them. I could see Pitt losing both of them. Yeah, I swear, it's like Pitt is such the most inconsistent program in the country. Sometimes they beat the number two ranked team in the country. Other times they lose to Youngstown State. But I'm all about momentum. And right now, if they can keep this momentum going, and finish 8-4, and then actually win a bowl game, I don't want to say they necessarily salvage the season, but I mean,
well, they salvage the season.
Play some damage control.
And let's look at the Nittany Lions, who have Rutgers. I mean, pork chops, greasy. Mm-hmm. Rutgers is in a 1-6 position. They got to be easy. And then Michigan State. Michigan State, I think, could give the Nittany Lions some problems. So, when you come up with it, would a 9-3 Penn State take on an 8-4 Pitt in a bowl game?
Honestly,
that's going to sell money in a Pinstripe Bowl.
Who wouldn't love to see that happen? I know. Look, I'm just happy Pitt beat West Virginia this year. Obviously, I'd love to see them play Penn State. But I would, look, everyone wants them Penn State to play all the time, and we don't need to go over the arguments for or against it. But I don't know, man. I'm still wondering if Narduzzi is the guy. Not that I ever really thought he was the guy, but look, they got 11 wins last year. Huge for the program, and without picking at you just kind of wondered, did they catch lightning in a bottle, or was the program really trending upwards? I don't know.
Now this weekend, you've got Boston College going up and play Notre Dame, and then you've got Notre Dame going out to play USC. A win by the Irish would make a pretty convincing. Those two wins make them 9-3. Do they go higher than 18? Because Penn State gonna be, they're 8-2,
mm-hmm.
possibly a win and a loss. They're 9-3. Okay. Notre Dame 2 wins, 9-3.
Right. Well, I always feel like Notre Dame draws well. Notre Dame South. I don't know what. I don't know. If we're being objective, looking at their schedules and things like that, it's hard to say what would happen. What do you think?
Well, win over USC, and USC is number 7 right now. That would have to move the Irish up to close to 10. 11, 12, and 13 would be open. Loss by Penn State would drop them. It would set up either Notre Dame and Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
It would set up Notre Dame and LSU, which I think would be loved across the country.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Brian Kelly.
That would be a Brian Kelly, lookout. And in the top 4 teams right now, I don't see them making any mistakes. Although Michigan and Ohio State have to play, and Georgia's going to be in a playoff, Tennessee could sneak in.
I want to see, if we're going with those top 4, let's just say the season ended today, TCU, Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia, I'd like to see TCU win. I would, I think most people across the country would. It's not like TCU is not one of the crown jewel football programs.
Right.
Also, I like JV Dixon. I know he's a basketball coach, but yeah, that's another story.
How about if we take a break?
Let's take a break and now a word from our sponsors.
the Crane Room for your lunch and dinner rendezvous. You'll enjoy their pleasant atmosphere. The Crane Room takes pride in their wide variety menu. Appetizers, sandwiches, soups, salads, entrees, pasta, and the best burgers in town. Newcastle's best selection of domestic, import, and craft beers from around the world, and the Crane Room features a 35-tap draft system. Ask about their daily specials that will please you every time. The Crane Room is located at 3009 Wilmington Road in Neshannock Township. Call 724-656-1553.
We are back, just like that.
Yes, we are, and we talked college football, our first segment. Now it's time to get over into NCAA hoops. And, Angelo, I know you're a diehard Duquesne Dukes alumni and fan. What do you have to say about your Dukes so far?
Well, the Dukes get a win against Montana and a 25-point loss against number 4 Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
So the Dukes have some interesting areas that they're in. Now, they're going to be playing Colgate in a few days. South Carolina State up before that. And they're on the thing, there's like a South Carolina State looking at having only a 1 in 10 chance of winning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the Dukes start out 2-1 and go to play Colgate, and that becomes almost a 50-50 split. If the Dukes win the next 2 games, in essence, they're in pretty good shape. Duquesne's problem's been not in November and December. The clock kind of strikes 12 for the Dukes on December 31st, no pun intended, where they get into Atlantic 10 play, and then they have the issues.
That's kind of how Pitt has been over the past handful of years. You know, start to into conference play last few months of the season, then just collapse. So I mean, I guess it makes sense. You're in a conference, you can play tougher competition. I don't know how long they're going to give Jeff Capel.
Well, he has Michigan coming up, number 20 Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
and that's up there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's not going to get easier for Pitt because a team like Alabama State, they're one of those teams where you don't see them on any kind of radar, but all of a sudden they're in your face.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like games like that. I don't like them for Duquesne. I don't like them for Notre Dame. I don't like them for anybody.
Right.
You know, but when you take a look beyond that, they're playing Fordham, A-10 rival, William & Mary, Northwestern, and then they hit that stride with North Carolina State, Vanderbilt, okay, and it gets tougher for the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
So they've moved themselves in to what I call Duquesne scheduling, where you're going through a buzzsaw, and some of them don't have any names, you know, and people go, oh, geez, what are they doing? You know, as we continue to look at the ACC, Notre Dame 2-0, but a 7-point win against Youngstown.
Well, I mean, look, we've had conversations about this in previous shows before, but every team's going to have a game where they just play down to the level of the competition. I mean, I wouldn't read too much into it, especially with basketball. We play so many games, but I think look, as far as pick goes, I know they had some pretty notable recruits coming in, but what's it gonna matter if they can't match up to their competition in the ACC? I don't know. I think I feel like Capel doesn't have too much time. But then again, even if you give him another year or two, he would have been there since the start of the 2016 season.
Yeah.
It's still a long time to give a coach, even though I know it was a dumpster fire. I don't.
Yeah, and here's the thing with the Irish, they're hugging that dangerous schedule. And here's what I mean about a dangerous schedule. Okay, you get Bowling Green State University, then you have Bonaventure. Mm-hmm. St. Bonaventure, dangerous. Michigan State, Syracuse, Baylor, Marquette. You're teeter-tottering. Georgia, Florida State. You're not getting any chance to get any momentum.
Right.
It might be a good thing you're Notre Dame.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're going to take this break.
Yep, and now word from our sponsors.
Simple elegance in a majestic setting. Yes, right here in downtown Newcastle. Minutes away from shopping. Seconds from a gas station. And let's not forget pastries, a restaurant, and oh yes, the schools. The majestic for that majestic lifestyle. Right in the greatest castle, Newcastle. Come by and take a look.
Entrusting your loved one to a funeral director is a very personal and emotional decision. The funeral director you choose must understand the importance of the decision you have made. When you call the William and Roger DeCarbo Funeral Home, I recognize what a privilege it is to be chosen at your time of need. We will provide you and your family with the best service possible, with sincerity and compassion.
The William and Roger DeCarbo Funeral Home, family owned and operated since 1941.
Come dine with us, come dine today. If you could use some real good food, there's a place not far away. If you could use a drink or two, or a place to go and play, come to Gallows Italian Villa today.
Welcome back to the Cedar Sports Corner, everybody, for our third and final segment. And we're going to be talking some NFL football. And Angela, I can only imagine that you have some pretty strong opinions about the state of the Steelers.
Well, Mr. Knoll always said, you have to know when it's time to get on with your life's work. And I think Pickett's been fine, but Mr. Tomlin, I think it's time to get on with your life's work. I'm not at all impressed with the play calling or the situations they've been in. If you take Coward and who he got on the team, you remove his guys, there's almost 50% less wins in this situation. And I gotta say something. Even though it's alphabetical order, you know what? I still have a problem with the Browns being in front of the Steelers. Even though it's alphabetical order in the standings. Geez, oh man.
Well, here's the thing. Whether people think Tomlin should go or not, I feel like the point is moot because I don't think he's going anywhere. I mean, the Steelers,
Right.
Rooney's changed coaches like the Catholic Church changes popes. It just, I say that like literally. I mean, three head coaches since what,
69.
I mean, my goodness gracious. So it's not happening. They're not going to go on from Tomlin. So, Matt, look,
Here's the
at
Steelers.
least get new offensive coordinator. You know, changes have to be made.
Maybe, and just maybe, the Saints were the spot where they could turn it around. They can beat Cincinnati. They can beat Indianapolis. And they can beat the Atlanta Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
3 wins gets them to 6-6.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's Baltimore. I see, even if they lose the Baltimore game, they can come back and beat Carolina. They're going to be at home against the Raiders. Okay, they're going to split with Baltimore and a win against the Ravens. They're only picking up maybe 2 losses.
Wow, you have a very optimistic mindset.
And I think it's all because of Kenny Pickett.
Well, here's the deal. I guess I am surprised that there's so much, I don't want to say criticism of him. I mean, look, if you're a professional, you're going to be criticized, but it's, whether it's Twitter or, sports analysis, I mean, I feel like, at least if maybe I'm reading different stuff, but even people I talk to, say, Kenny Pickett's no good, he was a bust, I'm thinking to myself, wait, what? He's a rookie. Look at the team around him. I think he's doing pretty well.
Look at this. The Raiders are 2-7. The Colts are 4-5. Mm-hmm. Think about this. The Bengals are 5-4 only because of an accident. Okay? And the Atlanta Falcons, 4-6.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody on the other end that's devastatingly difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say, oh, okay, you're going to play the Ravens, big deal. We've always played the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 games against the Ravens, that's what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm. I'm still not. I still feel like that. I'm a pretty positive, optimistic guy. I just feel like that's still just very much an unlikely scenario. I just feel like they're just not a good team. And again, not to pick it, but there's just so many weaknesses. I mean, the play calling, I can't.
The play calling is bad, but Cincinnati, Indiana, and Indianapolis and Atlanta, that should be 3 wins. Get you to 6-6, and Baltimore at home.
Mm-hmm.
That's electric, because that puts you right next to it, and maybe a game out if you beat Baltimore.
Well, I'll tell you, I know a lot of people wanted the Steelers. They're kind of hoping the Steelers would just tank to get a higher draft pick, but I don't even know if I would trust them to.
I don't think they can tank even if they tried, because Carolina, what are we looking for? That's a 50-50 shot, and the Panthers are 3-7. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they could easily go on a winning streak from 3-6. They could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight wins.
Jeez,
would make them 9-6 going into Baltimore and Cleveland.
I just don't see the Steelers winning
9 games.
Yeah, I don't.
And here's the thing.
I hope I'm wrong, but I mean.
They'll beat Cleveland because Cleveland's at home. So that's 10. The question has to be Baltimore and their schedule. And here's what they're looking at. They got Carolina, Jacksonville. Now that's at Jacksonville, and that's a good chance for Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
But then, after that, Denver, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. If Pittsburgh holds their own, they make a hard run at Baltimore. I'm not saying they'll overtake them, but they could possibly come very, very close.
Well, wouldn't that be something? But I'll tell you what, point blank, do you think Kenny Pickett is the future of the Steelers?
Yes.
I think so too. He's put in a very difficult position, and I just like his confidence, his swagger, and give it time. Just wait till this team gets it all together, and then you have superstar Kenny Football Pickett. It'll be fun to watch. But
well, that's going to do it.
All right, any parting words, Ange?
Let's go Irish.
Out of Pitt.
Have a great week, everybody. Any time on your time, it's Nctv45.